The scripture is from Matthew 27:62, 28:10. The next day, the one after preparation day, the chief priest and the Pharisees went to Pilate. "Sir," they said, "we remember that while he was still alive, that deceiver said, 'After 3 days I will rise again.' So give the order for the tomb to be made secure until the 3rd day. Otherwise, his disciples may come and steal the body and tell the people that he has been raised from the dead. This last deception will be the worse than the first." "Take a guard," Pilate answered. "Go, make the tomb as secure as you know how." So they went and made the tomb secure by putting a seal on the stone and posting the guard. After the Sabbath, at dawn on the 1st day of the week, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to look at the tomb. There was a violent earthquake, for an angel of the Lord came down from heaven and, going to the tomb, rolled back the stone and sat on it. His appearance was like lightning, and his clothes were white as snow. The guards were so afraid of him that they shook and became like dead men. The angel said to the women, "Do not be afraid, for I know that you are looking for Jesus who was crucified. He is not here. He is risen just as he said. Come and see the place where he lay. Then go quickly and tell his disciples he has risen from the dead and is going ahead of you into Galilee. There you will see him. Now I have told you." So the women hurried away from the tomb, afraid yet filled with joy, and ran to tell his disciples. Suddenly Jesus met them. "Greetings," he said. They came to him, clasped his feet, and worshiped him. Then Jesus said to them, "Do not be afraid. Go and tell my brothers to go to Galilee. There they will see me."
Thank you, Natalie, for that most hopeful reading. The voices leading up to the events that transpired on Good Friday continue to echo in our fragmented world. From the garden, "Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Yet not what I want, but what you want." Are you still sleeping and taking your rest? See, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Get up and let us be going. See, my betrayer is at hand. The one I will kiss is the man. Arrest him. Have you come out with swords and clubs to arrest me as though I were a bandit? Then all the disciples deserted and fled. From the temple court, "He has blasphemed. Why do we still need witnesses? He deserves death." Then they slapped him and they spat in his face. "You were also with Jesus, the Galilean." "I do not know what you're talking about." "This man was with Jesus of Nazareth." "I do not know the man." "Certainly you are also one of them, for your accent betrays you." "I do not know the man." And the cock crowed. "I have sinned by betraying innocent blood." Judas then went out and hanged himself. "Are you the king of the Jews?" "Release to us Barabbas. Crucify Jesus. Let him be crucified. I am innocent of this man's blood. See it to yourselves." Then from the cross, "Hail, King of the Jews. You who would destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. If you are the Son of God, come down from the cross." He saved others, yet he cannot save himself. My God, Why have you forsaken me? From the tomb, command the tomb to be made secure. You have a guard of soldiers. Go, make it as secure as you can. So they went with the guard and made the tomb secure by sealing the stone. These are the voices of Good Friday. They are voices of betrayal, voices of denial, voices of disappointment, voices of hate and cruelty, voices of violence, voices of finality, voices of no turning back, voices of no moving forward, voices of death. Make the tomb as secure as you can. Seal the stone. And the reality is that we do not have to be familiar with these biblical voices, for we live in a Good Friday world, do we not? We've heard these voices just this week. From a mall in Columbia, South Carolina, children were getting pictures taken with the Easter Bunny when the gunfire broke out. From the police in Kyiv, 900 civilian bodies have been discovered. They were simply executed. From Ukrainian President Zelensky about the possibility of Russia using nuclear weapons. Countries have to be worried. From New York, 2 new subvariants of Omicron are spreading quickly throughout the state. From a scientist in Florida, the climate crisis is supercharging rainfall and hurricanes. From an Amtrak train from LA to Oakland, as a gay couple traveling with their small multi-ethnic children are taunted. That's not a family. You're rapists and pedophiles. You steal Black and Asian children, and you rape them. From a women's doctor in Mississippi, most days it feels as if we are moving backwards. From New Orleans, a 17-year-old is shot in the neck in a botched carjacking. And from closer to home, chemotherapy begins Tuesday. I have no idea how I'm going to pay my medical bills. Why is health care so unaffordable? Why do people have to be so hateful? I don't know why our children act the way they do. I want my children to come and visit me. I don't even know who you are anymore. I owe thousands of dollars again in taxes, but this year, I don't know where the money's going to come from. I'm already working more hours now than my body and my mind can stand. I'm never going to be able to forgive myself. I have never been so embarrassed in my whole life. My mother hates the assisted living facility. She believes we're all plotting against her. I think my father may have Alzheimer's. Her baby was born 3 months premature. Her sister is having chest pains. My brother's arthritis is about to get the best of him. He had another seizure. I still cannot believe my wife is gone. I have never felt so alone and so depressed. I simply can't keep on going like this. I just want to go to sleep and never wake up. These are the voices of Good Friday, and they echo throughout our world without ceasing, sometimes overwhelming us. Every time we turn around, there's something else in our Good Friday world to worry about. There seems to be no escape. It's like being entombed in a sepulcher for all of eternity, entombed by a large stone that has been sealed shut by soldiers. The good news is that we have come this morning to hear another voice. It is a voice called Easter. It is a voice called resurrection. It is a voice called hope. At the first day of the week, as the first day of the week was dawning, sounds hopeful already, doesn't it? As a new day, a new week was dawning, was beginning anew, fresh, bright, giving a chance to the promise of hope, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to see the tomb. And suddenly there was a great earthquake, for an angel of the Lord descended from heaven, came and rolled back the stone and sat on it. In our Good Friday world, oh, how we need to hear this voice of Easter. This voice that says that our God, who gave God's all for us on the cross, is so awesome, is so good, so great, so much bigger than all of the cruelty and evil of this world, that notice God does not have to lift one finger, but sends an angel to break the seal that entombs all of us who are shrouded by the evil of our Good Friday world. The Good Friday world says, seal it up. Then our Easter God, without flinching a muscle, sends one meek angel to break the seal. An angel who then sits upon the stone and says the most hopeful words found in the entire Bible: do not be afraid. I know you are looking for Jesus who was crucified, but he is not here, for he has been raised, as he said. The world says, seal it up. The world says things are not going to get any better. The world says the good old days are long gone. The world says that evil will always get the best of us. The world says there is no hope. The world says there is no way out. The world says that God is either a fairy tale, powerless, or has taken some cosmic vacation. The world says death is final. Then God, without lifting a finger, without flinching a muscle, breaks the seal and says, I am always working all things together for good. Through the breaking of that seal, God makes a way when there seems to be no way, and says to us that our best days of living are always yet to come. God says, although we cannot go back to the good old days, good new days are certainly dawning. Through the breaking of that seal, God emphatically says that nothing, emphatically says, and empathetically, says that nothing in this world is final, not even death. God says, I can and I will transform all of your despair into hope, all of your defeats into victory, all of your pain into joy, and even all of your deaths into life. The world says, seal it up. You'll never amount to anything. You're a loser. You are insignificant. You are worthless. You are not a good person. Nobody really cares about you. You are not normal. The world says, the world would be no worse off if you were not born. Seal it up. The good news is that our God breaks the seal and says, I love you, and I suffered for you, and I died for you, and I raised Jesus to life for you, just as you are. There is not anything you need to do or can do to earn my love. You already have it because you are my child. I will always be with you and never away from you. I will always be for you and never against you. I will always stay by your side, fighting for you, doing all that I can to wring whatever good can be wrung out of your misery. God says, I will give you an Easter faith to live victoriously in your Good Friday world. Through eyes and ears of Easter faith, you will see my resurrecting presence all around and hear my voice everywhere. You will be able to see it in the flowers and in the trees. You can feel it in the sun after the rain. You will read it in a card sent to you by a friend. You will experience it through the smile of a child. You can know it through a church that not only welcomes all to the table to experience God's love and grace, but invites all to join them in service to love their neighbors as themselves. You can know it through those who deliver meals to people who are burdened with food insecurity. You can experience through the one who befriends and spends time with those who are lonely, sick, or dying. You can hear it from those who stand up and fights for the rights of people the world marginalizes, and through all who accept and affirm those the world excludes. You can see it through those who give shelter to the homeless. You can experience through an encouraging word, a handshake, a hug, a meal prepared, a house repaired, a lawn mowed, a quilt sewed, a house painted, a petition signed. God says you can hear it and see it and sense it and know it through people who by my grace are living an Easter faith in a Good Friday world. You can see it when and wherever justice is overcoming and love is winning and hope is prevailing. Yes, during this coming week, we will not have to listen closely to continue to hear the voices of Good Friday. We will quite possibly hear them even before this Easter Sunday ends. My hope and my prayer is that as people living an Easter faith, we will continue to raise our Easter voices, voices of hope, voices of justice, voices of equality and equity, voices of peace and love, voices of life, voices of a new day dawning, voices from a tomb whose seal has been broken on this day and forevermore. Amen.
Blessed be